Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has won the Daytona 500.
You spend thousands of hours on the road.
Can he do it again?
Feel hundreds of horses under the hood. But every race, lap, and victory you get starts at zero. New NOS, zero sugar. Zero sugar, 100% NOS, get after it.
Race fans, the 2025 season is going green at Volusia Speedway Park. It's the Sunshine Nationals featuring World of Outlaws late models at the world's fastest half mile. January 23rd to the 25th. It's a dirt late model palooza with the biggest names in dirt track racing. Volusia Speedway Park Sunshine Nationals, January 23rd to the 25th. Tickets and more at worldofoutlaws.com. Be there.
It's ARP Fasteners for whatever you race. From 2 wheels to 4. Off-road, on-road, even water. From the flat track to the salt flats. Grassroots racers, weekend warriors, and pros alike trust ARP. Made in America quality, family owned and operated. When failure is not an option, it's ARP-Bolts.com. No matter what you race.
Off-season blues got you down? Dirt Vision's documentary series Driven to Dirt is ready to help. Each new episode will immerse fans deeper into the world of dirt racing, exploring some of the biggest stars and events of the World of Outlaws. Driven to Dirt. Available exclusively on DirtVision.com.
Since their 2001 inception, DMI Racing Components have changed the game. From open-wheel suspension, steering, and driveline components to their line of Bulldog quick-change rears, they set the new standard for innovation, performance, and value. DMI and Bulldog products are backed by the best customer support in the industry with more than 150 years of race-winning experience. Let our experience help guide you to victory lane. We race, you race. Let's race together.
Get ready, Tulsa. January 13th to the 18th, the chase for the Golden Driller is back at the SageNet Center at Expo Square with the 39th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS Energy Drink. The biggest names, the toughest race, and they're all fighting for the sweetest victory of all to hoist the Golden Driller in victory lane. Monday and Tuesday reserved seats are available by calling 918-838-3777. Can only make it for Saturday night. The general admission pit pass never sells out. For more info, log on to chilibowl.com.
There's nothing quite like a Chili Bowl upset, and we saw one last night. It was a night where the young stars came to play, and 2 of them locked their spot in the biggest midget race of their lives. We're here to break it all down for you on Dirt Vision. Welcome back to the Dirt Vision studio in Concord, North Carolina. I am Connor Wade, and surprise, Nick Hoffman is our special guest joining me on the desk today. He's back after competing in the Chili Bowl just 2 nights ago. Nick, welcome back to North Carolina. You got a heat race win, but I guess other than that, your Chili Bowl this year was nothing to write home about.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't take much to, throw your whole weekend out of the window. So basically what happened to us, and was able to win my heat race from second. So not a whole lot of passing points, but still there wasn't a whole lot of movers and shakers that night in the heat races. So I was 5th out of my heat race in passing points, and then that lined me up for a qualifier in 5th. And really at that point, you just got to maintain. If you could pass 1 or 2, that's huge. Put you in a really good spot for the A main, but wasn't able to. My brake pedal fell off coming to the green. So then didn't have brakes, so ended up running over somebody and causing a caution, and then drive back from the rear back to 6th. So I lost 1 spot. That puts me 19th in points, and then ended up flipping myself in the B main. So just one of those situations where the racetrack was slimy on the top, and probably wasn't ready to go green, and I bombed it off in there on the top and ended up costing myself. So just the way it goes. We seen that again last night with a lot of heavy hitters, and just one little thing goes wrong and kind of ruins your whole week.
It happens. We're still glad you did it. I'm sure you still had fun for the couple days you were in Tulsa, and I know you're looking forward to next year. Right now you're looking forward to Sunshine Nationals here in a couple weeks. We're here to give you a preview of York Plumbing preliminary night number 3 of the 39th Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS. Let's look back at all the drama from last night. A couple of drivers with problems in the early stages of the night. Zach Dahm, who went into last night with a lot of upside, gets upside down, Nick.
Yeah, and Zach's my crew chief, and so I turned one over the night before. Then he goes ahead and does it right off the rip in the heat race. So just one of those situations where it really wasn't his fault. You can't. Some people told me it's like, oh, he should have waited, and it's a situation at at Chili Bowl. You cannot wait. Everything's passing points. You got Jonathan Beeson right behind you, so he's going to be hot on your tail. So the guy in front of him doesn't fire off very well, and then Mike Hess is trying to get to the bottom, and that guy runs right into Mike's left rear, and it basically stops him right in front of Zach, and Zach climbs his left rear. So it just really sucks for him. As first time back in a car that he's ran all year. He's been in Bondio's cars for the last 2 years, and then this year being the 7U that he has had so much success in. So he was really confident going into this week, and bit him right off the rip.
He'll be back next year for sure. In qualifier action, Buddy Kofoid gets contact from Corbin Ruschenberg, and he goes over, really making Kofoid's night difficult. Both B mains last night were stacked. We were staying in the studio how both B mains actually felt like features last night. In the first one, Garrett Williamson snuck by Matt Williamson for the final transfer spot. And then in B main number 2, Dom was on the charge, already out of the C main, battling with RTJ. Dom gave it a good run, but comes up a little bit short of the transfer spot. RTJ got the final spot in last night's feature. When the feature came around, there were a lot of young drivers in the spotlight. Brenham Crouch started on the pole and took command early. He felt a little pressure at times from Gunnar Setzer for the lead, but did a great job holding him off. With 10 laps to go, one of our drivers to watch from yesterday came alive, and his name would be Landon Brooks. Brooks went from 6th to 2nd in a matter of 2 laps, and he would be the one to finally crack Brenham Crouch. He led lap 28, lost it the following lap, but then made a last lap pass to etch his name in the Chili Bowl history books as a surprise prelim winner. While Brooks made his mark, a lot of eyes were on Buddy Kofoid, arguably the favorite going into the night, rebounding from his flip in the heat race, charging from 18th to 3rd, a week-saving run that will put him in a B main on Saturday. Nick, it was a huge night for both of these drivers that going into this year had never made the Chili Bowl before, in Landon Brooks and Brenham Crouch. Yeah,
Landon's a good kid, outlaw kart kid that's, had a lot of success, and last night, really for me, wasn't a surprise with him starting up, close to the front that he could get the job done. Matt Wood's cars are so good. Shane Golobic is the crew chief on all of them. He was obviously super fast the night before. So just one of those deals where they got to race in there at the end of the race, and Brennan probably made the wrong choice at one point there of sliding himself in 3 and 4, and Landon made the right choice to kind of rip the bottom of 3 and 4 and was able to get to the slider line of 1 and slide him back into 1 for the last lap. So both guys, it was just really cool last night. You had a lot of new names up front. I think they said the top 16 had never won a prelim, feature. So just really neat when you get that situation, when you know that you're probably going to see a new winner. Buddy could have charged and got through there and won it, but it just didn't play out for him. And then KTJ, at the beginning of the race gets turned around. So a lot of movers and shakers, but it was just really cool to see some new names up front.
Yeah, for sure. Both of those drivers headed for the pole shuffle. Even those two, Brooks and Crouch, in disbelief themselves.
Man, we just won a prelim night at the Chili Bowl. It's incredible. I can't believe it. When I passed the checkered flag, it was just, I thought to myself, is this even real? I thought when Kofoid got by me, I thought it was over. And then the yellow came out. And obviously, he got put back behind us, and then I just started going where they weren't, and everything, kind of panned out in my favor, and I was able to sneak the bottom by a couple guys, and then they all kind of shuffled to the bottom. And when I got to 2nd and I started reeling him in, I went, this is my shot. I'm here. I got to do it. I got to make it happen. And I was able to get to his bumper and throw a slider, and I honestly didn't think I was going to clear him, but I just kind of wanted to pressure him a little bit, maybe make him start making some mistakes, and I did clearing him. But I just slowed myself down way too much, and he was able to cross over, and then, he slid himself, and I got right back to him and slid him, and, just slid that was the white, I think it was, and then slid myself the next 2 corners, and just made it to the checkers first. It was insane.
Looking back on it, obviously hindsight's 2020. I think there's a couple things I could have done that could have changed the outcome. But like you said, at the end of the day, I accomplished the same thing. We're still in the pole shuffle, and not a lot of people can say they've done that. So I don't think I would have drove any different, and it was just super pumped to, like you said, get really good starting position, and that helped a lot. I owe that to my guys for giving me a really good race car. put on a show for the fans, and that's what this place is all about. Even though we were on the not so good end of it, it was still super cool. Racing for the lead in a Chili Bowl is just sick. I think when we took the checkered, I had to just tell myself, it's kind of the same thing I already said. We took care of what we wanted to accomplish. We didn't really have many expectations. This team's really new, and I owe it to Jeff West and my dad, CMS Racing, and Brody Hayward. That trio there is the reason we're here, and just super glad we can take full advantage of it.
Nick, Brenham Crouch, what a run for him. A Power I Midget champion, an IRA Sprint Car champion, but we saw what he went through last year on the High Limit Tour, and Brenham's had unfortunately, some haters. He's had some naysayers and some people that say he's not ready to compete at this level. He proved them wrong last night.
Yeah, definitely proved him wrong. When you can finish on the podium with, on a prelim night of the Chili Bowl, it don't matter who's up front or what the situation is. He put himself in the right spot all night and was probably the best car there most of the race and led all those laps and did a great job. So yeah, it don't matter if first year on High Limit and you've won midget races and done pretty well throughout the years, but you're gonna get kicked around for a while. And last night I feel like he proved a lot of people wrong.
Last night was busy, but guess what? Even more stories could come out of tonight. Nick and I will look at what's ahead after this break on Dirt Vision.
Race fans, the Federated Auto Parts Dirt Car Nationals is bigger than ever. From January 30th through February 15th at Volusia Speedway Park. The World of Outlaw Sprint Cars and late models, plus the American Sprint Car Series, the Super Dirt Car Series, and the Dirt Car UMP Modifieds at the world's fastest half-mile oval. Every lap, every class, only on Dirt Vision.
How'd I do?
Great if you're not looking at the clock.
Sure you got that? I had to be faster than that, right?
100% NOS, zero sugar coat. New NOS, zero sugar. Get after it.
Brake hard with the all-new Smith Tie Complete Big Brake System. Our Big Brake titanium rotor offers doubled cooling capacity, and our centrifugal fan hub increases airflow to the hotter running inner half of the Big Brake rear caliper. Say goodbye to brake fade and overheating and hello to shorter stops and longer pad life. Complete your system with titanium piston front caliper, front rotor, aluminum billet pedal, billet reservoir, master cylinder, lines, and quick disconnects, and you'll be unstoppable. Smith Titanium. We winnovate.
Race fans, the 2025 season is going green at Volusia Speedway Park. It's the Sunshine Nationals featuring World of Outlaws late models at the world's fastest half mile. January 23rd to the 25th. It's a dirt late model palooza with the biggest names in dirt track racing. Volusia Speedway Park Sunshine Nationals, January 23rd to the 25th. Tickets and more at worldofoutlaws.com. Be there.
More and more fans are packing into the SageNet Center by the day, everyone with anticipation for what we're going to see in the final 4 nights of the week. Monday and Tuesday nights were incredible, and that leads us to Wednesday. Nick, I want to give you 2 words, 1 name, and I want you to tell me immediately what comes to mind. Corey Day.
Yeah, he's a gasser. That's all I can explain him as. He gets in everything, whether it's the sprint car stuff, midget stuff, and gasses on it. It's really fast. So being teamed up with Willie Kane this year, he's in a really good hot rod, and he was showed speed in the Race of Champions.
Corey Day enters tonight looking to defend his Wednesday night win from 1 year ago. Day continues to make a splash in the industry, proving himself repeatedly that he is destined for greatness, as Nick was just talking about. In just the last year alone, his accolades include wins in major sprint car events, such as the Gold Cup Race of Champions and the oldest midget race in history, the Turkey Night Grand Prix. He recently announced that he is moving on to the pavement world with Hendrick Motorsports, and he'll look to enter the NASCAR world carrying dirt racing's most prestigious trophy, the Golden Driller. Let's introduce our on-site reporter for the first time today, Dave Rieff. Dave is standing by with Corey just moments before he goes for back-to-back prelim wins.
It is the fourth Chili Bowl start for this young man right here, Corey Day, but it's his first coming back as a defending prelim event winner, which means now you get the opportunity to go after back-to-back. What's it going to take in this Willie King car?
I think just getting through a heat race and qualifier good. Man, this whole deal is passing points and points overall. So if you don't get any points, then you got no weekend. So I think we drew 11. So just gonna have to win every time we're on the track. And yeah, hopefully they give us a good track tonight and we can go hammer it.
Same car, same engine as last year?
Yep, same car, same engine, different body and different color.
Now we understand there might be a little bit of a story that maybe I can even educate you on about this engine. First off, you know how old it is?
Yeah, it's older than me.
2005, alleged to be a Gary Stanton engine that was at one time in the Sammy Swindell stable of motors. May have been run here. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Sammy had a lot of success here, so this thing rips, so I guess that's why.
We talked about the future looking bright. Don't want to get too far away from just tonight and then eventually Saturday, but it's going to be a banner 2025 for you.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I got a lot of different stuff that I'm doing this year than what I've done in the past, and I'm excited for it. I think as a race car driver, anyone would be excited to go do different forms of racing, and I'm definitely excited for that this year and excited for the opportunity that Hendrick Motorsports has given me.
How much confidence does it give you now knowing that Hendrick, Joe Gibbs, they're starting to kind of loosen up those belt straps, and dirt's always going to be here for you, so hopefully it can be a little bit more common as you continue to make your way down the paved road?
Yeah, I'm excited for sure. I think I'm still going to have some 30-odd dirt races this year, so I'm never going to give it up. This is what I've done my whole racing career, and I don't want to give it up. I still love it a lot. So, the pavement stuff's going to take main priority this year for sure, just trying to get as good as I can at that and, the time I'm given, and but I'm still going to dirt race for sure.
Did I dig through the files and see that you actually had of a shootout driller?
I do, yeah. I think I was like 12. It was a restricted.
It was so long ago, like 7 years ago.
Yeah. But yeah, I do have a driller. So this place hasn't been good to me until last year since then. So I'm hoping I still got luck this year.
Thank you very much, Dave. Dave was third in last year's Chili Bowl, Nick, so he's definitely going into tonight with very high hopes for another good performance come Saturday. Let's talk about this year's USAC champion, Daison Pursley. Pursley wowed the crowd last year with a stellar drive from 20th all the way to 4th on Saturday night of the Chili Bowl. That was his first time driving for Chad Boat in the event. Boat and Pursley now have a whole year working together, and it was an extraordinary year with a lot of successes. Daison made 7 trips to USAC Victory Lane and held off Cannon McIntosh to win his first National Midget Championship. The Oklahoma native, who a couple years ago wondered if he'd ever race again after a nearly paralyzing crash, is now a top contender for a driller, the one thing missing from his resume. The USAC champ standing by right now with Dave.
Thankful and blessed are 2 words that Daison Pursley uses every day to remind himself how fortunate he is to come back from those fractures, and come back has he ever. Chili Bowl last year, you just documented it, 20th to 4th in the Saturday night feature, but don't forget, this man's drive actually started from 16th in the C-Main, and he's back, ready to do it again this year. But it's all about the preliminary night. That's the pat you got to get better. You ready to do it?
Yeah, I think so. I think I got a really good shot. I was actually just joking around with some of the crew guys that was looking at my stats that Wikipedia put on. It was like a 9th place was my best prelim feature finish. So yeah, hopefully we can do a lot better than that and keep up with doing everything that we know how to do this year with the CB Industries ride. Chad and everyone's given me a good car all year, and was pretty strong on practice night, and then was I felt like even better in the race of champions. So just continuing to build on that and see what we got tonight.
Driver talent, pieces and parts, those are very important parts of the equation. But let's talk about team synergy and this Chad Boat team. What have they brought for you?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. Like I always say, Chad is he's more than just a car owner to me nowadays. We've built a huge connection. I felt like even a friendship on and off the track. So it just goes to show how well we just kind of drive together, I feel like, and that's the biggest thing, where I'm just fully confident in each decision that he makes, and we're going to ride with it no matter if it's right or wrong or if someone has a different opinion, and it tends to work pretty good. So yeah, just super thankful for everyone at CB Industries. It's been fun, the mentality's been great, and that's what I feel like leads to a lot of success.
A little off time after celebrating that championship, but walking into this building with that moniker, what was that like?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I feel like this is definitely the most confident I've ever been walking into this building, and yeah, just want to perform well. This building means a lot to me, and I think that this is going to be our best shot at it yet, for sure.
Nick, whenever you come into the biggest midget race of the year as the reigning champion for arguably the top national midget series, kind of have a chip on your shoulder, don't you say?
Yeah, I think it could go both ways. I mean, he's definitely got to be confident, but a lot of pressure behind that also. So you're expected to run really well, and being with a team that you've been with all year, and you kind of know what to expect. So he was really fast the other night in practice and in the race of champions. So I think all of Boat's cars seemed really good. So it'd be interesting to see how he does tonight. I think, you know, he's just smart enough now that he don't really make any stupid mistakes, and was really good at the shootout also. So I feel like he's going to be one of the top guys tonight.
I like that word for Daison Pursley, smart. We've really seen that. Not that he wasn't smart whenever he was younger coming up in micros, but I think that's a side of Daison Pursley that we've really started to see in action. We're going to take a quick break here on Dirt Vision. Coming up, more Chili Bowl previews.
Since their 2001 inception, DMI Racing Components have changed the game. From open-wheel suspension, steering, and driveline components to their line of Bulldog quick change rears, they set the new standard for innovation, performance, and value. DMI and Bulldog products are backed by the best customer support in the industry with more than 150 years of race-winning experience. Let our experience help guide you to victory lane. We race, you race. Let's race together.
It's Chili Bowl National time in Tulsa, and the stars and cars of the Extreme Outlaw Midget Series presented by Toyota are in the building. All full-time drivers of the Extreme Outlaw Series are ready to race for the Golden Driller this week. But did you know you can see them race all season long with a subscription to Dirt Vision? That's right. Watch rising open-wheel stars Cannon McIntosh and Jacob Denny battle with veterans Zach Dahm and Cameron Key in a 27-race schedule in 2025, live on Dirt Vision.
Welcome to our world. A world of dirt, drift, and dodging fate. A world where all of motorsport collides. A world of digging deep, of grit, glory, and bitter defeat. Inhabited by the strong, the fearless, the barely sane. Welcome to our world. Welcome to the world of NOS.
Brake hard with the all-new Smith Tie Complete Big Brake System. Our Big Brake titanium rotor offers doubled cooling capacity, and our centrifugal fan hub increases airflow to the hotter running inner half of the Big Brake rear caliper. Say goodbye to brake fade and overheating, and hello to shorter stops and longer pad life. Complete your system with titanium piston front caliper, front rotor, aluminum billet pedal, billet reservoir, master cylinder, lines, and quick disconnects, and you'll be unstoppable. Smith Titanium. We winnovate.
Right there, Hoffman flies off the front straightaway.
Lane picked up in third with Lane Memorial.
They call him the voodoo child in that zero. It up the track, and just like that, Caleb Armstrong.
Unbelievable. Travel wins at Jacksonville.
If your answer to the summer heat is let it rain, we're looking for you. Join us at Toyota Racing.
Get your motors running. The World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars return to Volusia Speedway Park in March for the Bike Week Jamboree. 2 huge nights with the greatest show on dirt, March 2nd and 3rd at the world's fastest half mile. Championship battles, rising stars, and incredibly fast cars. The World of Outlaws at Volusia Speedway Park, March 2nd and 3rd. Tickets and more at worldofoutlaws.com. Be there.
Back on Dirt Vision, Connor Wade and Nick Hoffman with you on the desk. Dave Rieff with us from the Tulsa Expo Raceway. We've seen Kunz Motorsports cars on the podium through each of the first 2 prelim nights. Cannon McIntosh and Buddy Kofoid have each had third-place finishes. However, no lock-ins yet for the winningest team in Chili Bowl history. 4 drivers will try to change that tonight. The KKM roster for Wednesday includes Taylor Reimer, Emerson Axsom, Alex Jankowski, and Cale Drake. Lots of talent and a little variation slated for the team this evening. Nick, there's just something prestigious about running the Chili Bowl for Keith Kunz Motorsports. Whenever you see a guy announce that they're driving for Keith, you know they're legit.
Yeah, I think anybody, if they had a choice, that's who they're going to probably try to pick. With all the success Keith's had with not just USAC, but Chili Bowl and everything else, he's got one of the top teams in the building, and they got 16 cars there this year, which is super impressive to see. And all them guys working and knowing their jobs and everything. It's really impressive. But Emerson and Jankowski, you get a couple guys like Jankowski and Williamson last night that's never drove midgets before, and go race for Keith. I feel like that gives you your best opportunity.
There's 2 names here I want to focus on. You talked about one of them, Alex Jankowski, but Emerson Axsom as well. Let's start with him. Emerson has proven he can be really dangerous inside the Tulsa Expo Center to the tune of 4 Tulsa shootout wins. He always puts on a show in Tulsa. He's been good during the Chili Bowl as well, 5th and 11th the last 2 years. And while he picked up a few sprint car wins in 2024, he and Kunz did win a midget race during Indiana Midget Week. And then Jankowski, on the other hand, while he doesn't have the dirt accolades that Emerson does, he has really taken a liking to this dirt racing thing. Tried out micros at Millbridge, a place you know pretty well, Nick. What a race there actually last month. How tough is that to do?
Yeah, I don't think he drove a micro before either, he came there, and pretty impressive to get out there. And I feel like, the micro racing at Millbridge is some of the toughest you'll see across the country. So for him to come out there and beat the boards down and get it done was pretty impressive, and I feel like that's definitely going to help him getting into the midget.
He's very eager to compete in the Chili Bowl now, of course, for KKM. Axsom and Jankowski are 2 drivers eyeing to be the first of their many teammates to earn a spot in this year's Chili Bowl.
You can come here, and if you run good here, you can make a name for yourself. So I think part of it is the mindset you got to come in here with, and I kind of lucked into running good here a couple times, and then started to believe I could, and from there I think it's kind of just having the confidence to do it and believing in your ability. I'm getting better, and I think the first step is recognizing that you have a problem. So we recognized that and fixed it, hopefully. And you just got to put yourself in contention and not take yourself out, is the biggest thing. So everyone here believes that they're building the best cars and putting the best cars together to the best of their ability, and the want to win. These guys come here with this many cars to win. You don't just come here to make the show with this many cars. So that's the first thing. I think Keith and Pete come here to win, and I think it starts at the top. So if you can have some car owners that come here to win and believe in you, I think that's a good sign.
I'm a pretty big dirt racing fan, so I watch kind of a little bit of everything. If I had to say I watch one thing the most, it's probably the late model stuff. So I watch the Chili Bowl, almost every year. It's the coolest event in the world, I think. I mean, there's only a few races with this atmosphere. I think the World Finals at Charlotte has, this type of atmosphere. Chili Bowl, and there's just only a few like it. There's been so many questions about comparison, and are they similar, how are they different, how are you adapting? It's got 4 wheels and a steering wheel and a gas pedal and a brake pedal. So you just kind of let the car do the work, don't force it. And I think we're all right. I got a lot of support at home. I've been talking to a few guys. I've been talking to Stuart Friesen all week, and he's been, helping any way he can. So it's a pretty cool to be with a team like this with Keith Kunz Motorsports, and talking to guys like Christopher Bell or a buddy or something like that. So it's cool. I don't really have a benchmark. I don't want to just make my prelim, just make the race, or make it be main. My goal is to win, and nothing short of that. But I know you need some luck, and things got to fall your way. So we'll take it as it comes.
Nick, I've watched Emerson Axsom a long time. There's one word that stands out to me whenever I think about Emerson Axsom: heart. He puts his heart into every lap.
Yeah, and you've seen that at the shootout. He had a lot of bad luck and felt like he had the best car in probably 3 of those races, and just didn't quite get the job done, whether he blew up in one of them and everything. So just he does a really good job, and he's came a long way in the last couple of years. And pretty much put his name on the scene as one of the top midget guys in the country, and now he's starting to move towards sprint cars and everything. So one of those guys that can kind of get in a little bit of everything and get the job done.
And then the scouting reports I got on Jankowski from practice day were that he looked really good. There's some people that think that he might actually do a little bit better than Matt Williamson did last night in a midget. And Williamson, I thought, was really impressive for his first time. So going to be interested to see how those guys can.
Yeah, and I watched an interview from Matt Williamson, and I feel the same way he did. What he said was like everything that he does in his race cars, the big block stuff, is totally opposite from what is fast in a midget. So Jankowski running that micro, it's not going to teach you how to drive a midget, but it's definitely get you in that learning curve of, all right, this is what you got to do to be fast. And he was able to get up to speed really quick, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. It's a totally different race car than what he's used to, but in the last year, Jankowski's put his name on the map in the big block side.
Don't count out Kale Drake and Taylor Reimer for KTM as well. They should have a lot of speed. We're going to take a quick break on Dirt Vision. More Chili Bowl coverage from our crew after this.
How'd I do?
Great if you're not looking at the clock.
Sure you got that? I had to be faster than that, right?
100% NOS, zero sugar coating. New NOS, zero sugar. Get after it.
While the Chili Bowl Nationals features the world's best midget talent, it's the stars of the American Sprint Car Series who are also ready to make their mark in Tulsa. Did you know you can see those winged warriors of the National 360 Sprint Car scene all year long on Dirt Vision? That's right. Get your subscription today and watch Seth Bergman, Sam Hafertepe Jr., Matt Covington, and many more battle wheel to wheel at the dirt tracks of America's heartland from April to November, only on Dirt Vision.
Ready to rise? To the challenge? Above obstacles. Yes! Above perceptions.
Ruttiger, implement the pass on the top lane.
Above it all.
Let's go!
If so, we're looking for you. Join us at Toyota Racing.
Since their 2001 inception, DMI Racing Components have changed the game. From open-wheel suspension, steering, and driveline components to their line of Bulldog quick change rears, they set the new standard for innovation, performance, and value. DMI and Bulldog products are backed by the best customer support in the industry with more than 150 years of race-winning experience. Let our experience help guide you to victory lane. We race, you race. Let's race together.
Brake hard with the all-new Smith Tie Complete Big Brake System. Our Big Brake titanium rotor offers doubled cooling capacity, and our centrifugal fan hub increases airflow to the hotter running inner half of the Big Brake rear caliper. Say goodbye to brake fade and overheating and hello to shorter stops and longer pad life. Complete your system with titanium piston front caliper, front rotor, aluminum billet pedal, billet reservoir, master cylinder, lines, and quick disconnects, and you'll be unstoppable. Smith Titanium. We winnovate.
Race fans, the Federated Auto Parts Dirt Car Nationals is bigger than ever. From January 30th through February 15th at Volusia Speedway Park. The World of Outlaw Sprint Cars and late models, plus the American Sprint Car Series, the Super Dirt Car Series, and the Dirt Car UMP Modifieds at the world's fastest half-mile oval. Every lap, every class, only on Dirt Vision.
Welcome back. Chili Bowl pre-race coverage on Dirt Vision resumes. A reminder that when our show ends at the top of the hour, Flow Racing will carry every lap live of the Chili Bowl this evening and all week long. Alex Bright is the second Dunlap Performance entry in this year's Chili Bowl. A new team for him comes at a time when he's looking to get back to form inside the Tulsa Expo Center. Bright reported a prelim win back in 2016, and all three of his Chili Bowl finale starts have come after prelim lock-ins. But Bright has been unable to reach the Saturday night finale in the last 3 seasons. Whenever you know that you can do it, Nick, like Alex has, he's won a prelim, he's been in the feature before, but you haven't got it done the last couple of years. Does that kind of mess with your mind a little bit?
Maybe a little bit, but just the smallest little thing can put you out of it. But he's been in good cars, and Dunlap stuff is always super nice. I feel like I had a little bit of a hand in getting Alex in that car. With Dunlap kept coming to me every week, like, a couple guys, a list of drivers of, should I go for this guy or that guy? And I was like, if you can get Alex Bride, he'd be your guy. So I expect him to do really good. He's fast in everything he gets in, but especially inside the Expo Center.
Like Axsom, who we talked about last break, Bright, also a former driller winner at the Tulsa Shootout. Let's hear if Alex thinks that the new combination is the spark he needed as he stands by with Dave Rieff.
Well, as you guys documented, it's a Saturday slump for the last 3 years that Alex Bright's trying to exercise. He's got himself a brand new team, and you're coming in with a good attitude this year, hooked up with a very passionate team.
Yeah, no, I'm thankful for the call from Brian. I don't even think I was going to run this year. Kind of on the retiring tour. Not retired, retiring.
Just say stepping back, and that way you don't even have to mention retired.
So, but Brian gave me a call, and he kind of said, let's just go have some fun and see what we can do. So it interests me, and here we are. It's Wednesday night, and we had some decent practice sessions on Sunday, so we'll see what we can do tonight.
I'm sure racing, like anything else, life in general, can be mental. So as you've kind of thought about what's gone on the last 3 years since the last time you made the big show, what have you been thinking about? How have you been mentally preparing for this run tonight?
I think it all just starts in the beginning, and thinking back on some of the shows, some of them, we missed setups a little bit, some of them I made mistakes. Just need to get back in that rhythm of, hitting your marks, making sure you don't make mistakes, and putting some good laps together, setting you up. Every race matters, so you go out for the heat race, you can't afford to be in a wreck or, even lose a spot. So it all starts in the beginning of the night, and I'm usually pretty good at that, and I feel like the last couple of years I just kind of came a little bit unfolded during the feature times, either making mistakes or just, one mistake can cost you 4 spots. Well, that's the difference between a B and a C or anything like that. So I think this car is good enough to do it. I think I'm feeling good enough that I can do it. So we'll see if we can lock ourselves into another show.
It's been 3 days since practice. What'd you learn over the last few nights watching?
I think we learned a lot off of Gary on Monday night, and even Trimble last night a little bit. So it's good to have some teammates running and just kind of take a little bit from that. But other than that, we're going into the night with a clean slate and see if we can get this car rolling.
Try to have some fun there, semi-retired guy.
Yeah, we'll do.
As we've documented plenty of times on our shows, the Alex Bowman cars have been solid so far this week. Their entry tonight is coming off a Chili Bowl that saw him get back in the mix. That is Jake Swanson. 7 years after his first start in the Chili Bowl finale that saw him finish 5th in 2017, Swanson got back into the big dance last year, largely thanks to his second-place prelim finish on Wednesday. The Californian turned Hoosier has become one of the top drivers on the non-winged scene in Indiana. He doesn't race midgets a ton, but was really impressive last year and could be even better this season. Nick, obviously the Bowman cars have been fast, but the big thing for them, they just need to finish races.
Yeah, Briggs, had the fastest car the first night there and just plugged it in the cushion and got upside down. So that definitely sucked for him. And then last night, KTJ, starting up front and gets ran over on the first lap by a guy that ran over quite a few cars last night. So definitely frustrating for that whole team, but I think they still got to be pretty confident that their race cars are super fast and they can get the job done.
I know Alex Bowman spends the entire year. I mean, whenever he's not running his cup car, he's spending his week in his shop building midgets and getting ready for this. He puts so much effort into this, and man, it's kind of gut-wrenching to see the bad luck they've had in the Expo Center the last couple of years. So hopefully they can turn the luck around. Swanson trying to improve on his Wednesday night finish from last year by 1, and he's standing by with Dave.
Well, you know what, Connor? There's no reason to think that success couldn't happen again this year. After all, for Jake Swanson, teamed up again with his great friend Alex Bowman in the same car that he got locked in a year ago. That's got to give you confidence knowing that machine's been ready since summer for tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We ran around here pretty good last year, and Alex said he didn't even take the thing apart. He said it was good last year, so why blow it apart and repowder coat it or anything like that? Might as well. It was nothing needed to be fixed or anything, so. I'm excited. I feel like we've got a really good piece, and we actually went and tested like we do every year at Millbridge, and I feel like we were good last year, but we weren't quite perfect. I think there were some things that we could have done balance-wise to get better, and I think we learned a lot when we went and tested, and we kind of got a little bit more of those wrinkles ironed out, over the course of that little test. And here, you don't really get much time to knock any rust off. You get a lap and a half, it seemed like what we got this year of practice. 2 sessions of that isn't enough time to really get your timing down, and we've got a good group of guys, good group of friends here, so I have a lot of fun doing that. And honestly, if I wasn't racing with these guys, if I didn't have a good car to drive, I'm not sure that I would come.
A student of the game, you've been watching everything that's been going on, and you have to be absolutely psyched. Kevin Thomas was fast last night. Your teammate in day number 1, oh my gosh, Griggs Danner. That's got to give you confidence knowing that you've got everything that they've got. It's just out there for you.
Yep, same race car, and really we've kind of been doing the same things, same kind of balance and stuff like that. So hopefully we can kind of turn the ship around, and obviously we've got fast race cars, so it's just a matter of me doing my job and keeping our nose clean. There's that little bit of Chili Bowl luck that you gotta try to avoid, the spinning cars and some of the chaos that usually happens in the heat race that'll totally ruin your night or your week if something out of your control happens. But that's really the only nerve-wracking part. Other than that, I feel really confident with my race car and being able to navigate through what the day that we've got.
Will be fun to watch Swanson here this evening. I'm sure he and Corey Day will go at it again just like they did last year. All right, Nick, we get to talk about one of your best friends. You walked in today with a Gordy Gundaker hoodie on. Gordy, the late model standout, is making his midget debut at the Chili Bowl. I'm going to leave you the floor on this one to tell us what you expect.
Yeah, he got to make a couple laps at Port City about 2 weeks ago, and felt comfortable. He probably only got to run 30 laps, ended up the radiator fell back into the water pump, and basically ended his run as far as making laps. But Sunday, that was the first laps I got to see him make, and he rolled around there pretty decent. A lot of the situations where we get in as a late model guy, where we would call it tripping over the right front in a midget. He never did that. Seemed to have pretty good throttle control as far as keeping the car yawed out and stuff. So I'm interested to see how he does. I know he did tell me if he makes his A main tonight, he said he is partying until Saturday. So in Gordy fashion, I believe it.
One thing that's interesting, Gordy may have actually been around midgets more than a lot of people think. Of course, his parents, Tammy and Kevin, owning Tri-City. Tri-City used to host the Gold Crown Midget Nationals, which at one time was the biggest outdoor midget race on the USAC and Power Ice schedules. So he may have been around this a little bit more than one would think.
Yeah, and he goes to Chili Bowl every single year. He's always pitted for Dom. Our background goes a long way back. Me, Gordy, and Zach all quarter midget raced together from basically when we were 5 years old to I moved to North Carolina when I was 10. So we spent every week together. And so it was really cool for us to get back, racing together out of the same pit area. And Zach is our crew chief and basically our mentor and our teacher, So, it's just been a really cool week for me to, hang out with my buddies and race. But Gordy, I expect him to do pretty well here. I mean, he's not going to do anything too stupid to get himself in a bad situation, I feel like. And if the bottom comes in, that's where Gordy is really good. So we've talked about it this week is if the track would slow down and get slick, I think that's where it kind of falls into our hand a little bit more, is where a late model guy would be better. Tim McCready and those guys that, have had success, those racetracks were always slicker and slower. And I feel like that kind of lays into our hands a little bit better. But obviously early, no matter what, it's going to be fast. And he's just got to, try and get it done in the heat race there and pass a couple cars.
So what's a realistic expectation? Is he making the prelim feature?
I haven't looked at the other entries tonight. I know tonight has a lot of cars. So much of it, your pill draw, if he goes out there and draws the one, it's going to be pretty tough sledding from there. But if he could draw, I think perfect scenario at the Chili Bowl, if you could draw a 5 and get at least a row, you're sitting okay for a qualifier. But I think he can get it done and at least get into the feature tonight. Looking at how everything shook out last night, and you get a couple of those really good cars that have bad heat races or whatever, and your night becomes a lot easier.
Hoping to see Gordy have some success. We just think it's awesome that he's doing this.
It's somebody really cool for any of the new guys coming in, Yankowski, Williamson, any of the stock car guys or fender guys, as the midget guys would call us. But it's really cool for us to just come in and play in their playground a little bit and have success.
Last thing I want to talk to you about, we've talked about how incredible the racing has been the last couple nights, and a lot of that credit needs to go to the track prep crew. They also dedicate a ton of time to this, not just the couple weeks during the shootout and Chili Bowl, but all year. There's been times over the years where they've hit it. There's been times when they've missed it. This year, they're hitting it.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, and they keep up with it all night. They'll watch and see, all right, the top is getting a little too fast here. We need to work on the bottom, or vice versa. So I think also Saturday night feature going from 55 laps to 40 is going to help a bunch. There's so many times where they start the racetrack off so fast, and we all complain that the first 20 laps of that feature is so fast that we can't race, and then it finally slows down, and a couple times we've seen it rubber, and it's crazy that it can go through that transition so fast, and they've done a great job so far this week and at the shootout, so it'll be interesting to see how they, play it out for the rest of the week.
It's going to change each night throughout the week like it always does, but even think back to last year, even the prelim nights Thursday, Friday was still really, really good, as well as Saturday afternoon and into Saturday night. So, Nick, thank you so much for joining us today. I know that you would probably prefer to be going back to Tulsa on Saturday, but that's just how it plays out. You're still going back next year, right?
Yeah, for sure. As long as Jeff Taylor still's got a ride for me, I enjoy it every single year, and he gives me the best opportunity to go there and run well. And this year it just didn't play out for us very well.
Well, thank you so much for spending the time with us on the set today. It was great to have you. Good luck with the World of Outlaw late models the upcoming season.
Thank you.
All right, great to have Nick on the desk with me today. When we come back after this last break, Dave Rieff and I are going to go through tonight's heat race lineups. Stay tuned.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has won the Daytona 500.
You spend thousands of hours on the road.
Can he do it again?
Feel hundreds of horses under the hood. But every race, lap, and victory you get starts at zero. New NOS, zero sugar. Zero sugar, 100% NOS, get after it.
Race fans, the 2025 season is going green at Volusia Speedway Park. It's the Sunshine Nationals featuring World of Outlaws late models at the world's fastest half mile. January 23rd to the 25th. It's a dirt late model palooza with the biggest names in dirt track racing. Volusia Speedway Park Sunshine Nationals, January 23rd to the 25th. Tickets and more at worldofoutlaws.com. Be there.
It's ARP Fasteners for whatever you race. From 2 wheels to 4. Off-road, on-road, even water. From the flat track to the salt flats. Grassroots racers, weekend warriors, and pros alike trust ARP. Made in America quality, family owned and operated. When failure is not an option, it's ARP-Bolts.com. No matter what you race.
Off-season blues got you down? Dirt Vision's documentary series Driven to Dirt is ready to help. Each new episode will immerse fans deeper into the world of dirt racing, exploring some of the biggest stars and events of the World of Outlaws. Driven to Dirt. Available exclusively on DirtVision.com.
Since their 2001 inception, DMI Racing Components have changed the game. From open-wheel suspension, steering, and driveline components to their line of Bulldog quick change rears, they set the new standard for innovation, performance, and value. DMI and Bulldog products are backed by the best customer support in the industry with more than 150 years of race-winning experience. Let our experience help guide you to victory lane. We race, you race. Let's race together.
Brake hard with the all-new Smith Tie Complete Big Brake System. Our Big Brake titanium rotor offers doubled cooling capacity, and our centrifugal fan hub increases airflow to the hotter running inner half of the Big Brake rear caliper. Say goodbye to brake fade and overheating and hello to shorter stops and longer pad life. Complete your system with titanium piston front caliper, front rotor, aluminum billet pedal, billet reservoir, master cylinder, lines, and quick disconnects, and you'll be unstoppable. Smith Titanium. We winnovate.
Get ready, Tulsa. January 13th to the 18th, the chase for the Golden Driller is back at the SageNet Center at Expo Square with the 39th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS Energy Drink. The biggest names, the toughest race, and they're all fighting for the sweetest victory of all to hoist the Golden Driller in victory lane. Monday and Tuesday reserved seats are available by calling 918-838-3777. Can only make it for Saturday night. The General Admission Pit Pass never sells out. For more info, log on to chilibowl.com.
It sure was great to have Nick Hoffman join me on the desk today. Watch Nick in action on Dirt Vision and the Sunshine Nationals with the World of Outlaws Late Model Series coming up here shortly. 74 entries, 8 heat races slated to go for York Plumbing qualifier night number 3 of the Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS. We're going to bring Dave Rieff in. Dave, you've spent all day, all week talking to all the players in the expo building. Another great prelim night on tap tonight that we're going to talk about in a second. And I know Nick and I talked about last night, but I want your thoughts on last night, man. That was some crazy stuff.
Well, I tried to expand the vocabulary, Connor. I had to go to the internet and start looking up words that were synonyms for aggressive. And the ones that I came up with were belligerent, truculent, and you helped me with combative. It definitely felt like the stakes were raised a little bit more last night. Guys not giving each other very much room to race, and it led to some very interesting incidents. Of course, Buddy Kofoid able to get over that one. We'll talk more about him in a minute, but definitely a little bit more aggressiveness last night. We'll have to see what the tone is going to be tonight. But again, this is the Chili Bowl. Everybody inside the Expo Center knows what's up for grabs, and everybody wants to be the one and only one that grabs the Saturday Night Golden Driller.
You know, we saw some surprise drivers in the mix last night, names that performed well that maybe we didn't necessarily have on our list going into the night. So when you couple that with the fact that Brent Cruz came from the C main to a really good top 5 finish on night 1. Last night, Buddy Kofoid flips in the heat race, comes out of a B main and charges to a podium.
Yeah.
What kind of a mood does that give the guys that are going to be racing the rest of the week, particularly tonight?
Well, I thought a lot about that, from the winners last night to the incidents that you were talking about to some other things. I think the word of the night is going to be hope. Let's talk about last night's winners first. I did not have Landon Brooks nor Brenham Crouch on my bingo card. Now, granted, because I'm a journalist with integrity, I didn't have a bingo card, but still, I'm not sure that those guys would have been on that list. But all that does is give hope to a lot of the other teams that maybe you're not a KKM driver. That's okay. You still have an opportunity as the cars are getting ready to roll out here as well. Let's talk a little more about hope. You said Brent Cruz, Buddy Kofoid. That C to A run for Cruz on Monday night, Kofoid out of the B. That gives everybody hope that, okay, so you have an incident early. Not a big deal. You can pass on this racetrack, and we'll have more on what kind of a track we're going to have here in just a little bit, so there's hope there. And then how about the hope going tonight for Alex Bowman Racing? This is a team that both nights have arguably had the fastest cars on the racetrack. Briggs Danner on night number 1. Kevin Thomas Jr. last night, and what do they have to show for it? A tore-up race car and a driver that's not even here this afternoon, but with Jake Swanson coming tonight, there's a lot of hope that that's going to be the guy that gets Alec Bowman Racing perhaps into one of those 2 automatic transfer spots later this evening.
I've got a very interesting nugget for you, Dave, something that I honestly thought was kind of weird. If you look at Jake Swanson, he has a streak of top 10 finishes in his Chili Bowl prelim the last 6 years, every year since 2019. Of those 6 years, he's only made the Saturday feature once, last year. What do you make of that?
Well, that's just the Chili Bowl. That's it, how it can be there 1 minute and it can be gone the next. I've talked with a lot of drivers, especially the young ones. You know, they're kind of making their rookie debuts, a rookie crowd of better than 80, trying to figure out how to get those valuable points that everybody's talking about. But as you've seen for years, I've seen for years, this track is so short, so technical, so fast that one mistake can cost you 4, 5, 6 positions. And that seems to be what's happened with Jake Swanson. Now, despite that, and talking with Jake just a little bit ago, this is a driver that is running really, really free. You probably saw it on the interview. The body language was there. The smile was there. This is a guy that goes way back into the quarter midget days with Alex Bowman. They're great friends. They were competitors back in the day. And now Alex Bowman's giving Jake Swanson, again, his best opportunity to go ahead and try to write all those numbers that you're talking about and maybe put a 1 in the win column tonight.
Real quick, we're going to go through the heat race lineups. We're going to briefly take a look at all 8 of them. They'll flash across your screen for those of you watching on Dirt Vision. Corey Day is on the front row of heat race number 1. He's got Taylor Reimer in that one, also as well for KKM. Should be pretty strong. Then on to heat race number 2. Cale Drake in that one. Jake Swanson, who we just talked about. Kyle Cummins has had some surprise runs at the Chili Bowl before a couple years ago. He snuck in, had a top 2 on the prelim to lock in. Alex Jankowski, who Nick and I talked about earlier, we heard from him in an interview. He's at the tail of heat 2, so a lot of opportunity for points there. He raced number 3, youngster Garrett Benson, Chili Bowl debut, one of those mini rookies that Dave was talking about. Emerson Axsom, we expect to be really, really good. The GOAT, Sammy Swindell, we're going to get to him in a minute. He raced number 4, Tim Buckwalter, the other Matt Seymour racing car teammate to Hank Davis, who definitely had speed last night. J.J. Yaley representing some NASCAR flair in that. He raced Jake Newman, a former Power Eye champ as well. He raced number 5. We talked about Alex Bright. We expect him to do well in the Dunlap Performance 32. KJ Snow is the name of that one, a really, really good micro star. Actually has been kind of impressive at the Chili Bowl in the past, so excited to see what he can do. That's a really tough heat race. Daison Pursley, the USAC champion in that as well. He raced number 6, Cody Swanson, added, I believe, an 8th Silver Crown championship to his resume this year. He starts 3rd. Not known for being great in a midget, but he's a very smart race car driver. Steven Snyder Jr. out of the McDermott stable, really, really good on his prelim night last year. A B-main car on Saturday night of the Chili Bowl last year. Would not shock me if we see him in the feature on Saturday night. Heat 7, Colby Copeland, another Matt Wood Racing representative. Jet Yantis, going to start 7th in this one. Really, really impressive at the Tulsa Shootout a couple of weeks ago. I love everything I've ever seen out of Jet Yantis. His Chili Bowl debut. Blake Hahn, an opportunity to gain a lot of passing points coming from the tail of that heat. We know he wants to do good because his grandfather founded this event. 8th and final heat race, Mitchell Moles in that one has had some good runs. So Dave, I know I went through those really, really quickly, but let's touch on Sammy Swindell. Starts 6th in heat 3. That's a really, really good starting spot. He's won more Chili Bowls than anybody ever. Does he still have a shot?
Well, there's a lot of pundits that say probably not, but in spending some time with Sammy Swindell, because he's one of the first guys. He goes back to my beginnings at Chili Bowl. He's always one of the first guys I seek out. Always a lot of respect for Sammy, who still uses that hashtag, still winning. That's the one thing he said that it's the biggest change from his first race 35 events ago. He's been to 35 of the 39 events. He says just the media and all of the social followings that go with it. But if you come here, or if you happen to see the race car on the track, it is still winning as far as what that car looks like. It is a polished freaking chassis that is unbelievable. Flea Ruzick has done a good job. All of his pieces and parts and knobs look just like they did back in the old TMC days. They are absolutely beautiful. Sammy takes a lot of pride in that. And he firmly believes, to answer your question, that yes, he still thinks he can win this race. He says there's no other reason for me to come. So yes, it'll be fun to watch Sammy Swindell. He's definitely got a fan in me. I'll be rooting for him. We'll see how it goes tonight for Sammy Swindell in his 35th of 39 Chili Bowls.
It's impressive. Good luck to Sammy. Dave, being told that the first hot lap session of the night is rolling down the ramp. Real quick, 15 seconds. What are we going to see out of the racetrack tonight? It's been good the first 2 nights.
You know, yep, absolutely. Went down and looked at some of the track prep from bottom to top. This racetrack is always good. The track crew has done such a fantastic job for years, aided with iRacing, and the fact that this racetrack is laid out every time the same way. It's picture perfect top to bottom. But I did notice that there was a lot of attention being placed on the inside of the racetrack. Not that it wasn't racing, not that it wasn't passable, but they did spend a lot of time on the bottom, again, trying to ensure that we've got a couple of very competitive lines tonight, and those slide jobs and all that aggressiveness that we've seen, well, will it play again tonight? I'll bet it probably will. It's the Chili Bowl. Why not?
I bet so too. Thanks, Dave. Have fun tonight.
You bet.
Keith Kunz looks pretty relaxed in that lounge chair behind Dave. He's hoping for another Chili Bowl prelim win. Keith Kunz actually going to be on the show tomorrow, so tune in to our Dirt Vision pre-race, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central. After that, you can flip over to Flow Racing to catch every lap live. 2 prelim nights are in the books. They've been incredible. 3 more to go. Tonight's going to be fun. This does it for Dirt Vision. Flip over to Flow Racing for another great night of Chili Bowl prelim action.
This has been a presentation of Dirt Vision, a World Racing Group property. For information about upcoming broadcasts, follow us on social media, including Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can also watch more than 2,500 classic races and shows anytime at dirtvision.com or the Dirt Vision app.